With its backdrop of the Sierra Nevada mountains, Granada in Spain is a stunning city. With beautiful gardens, exquisite architecture, and people passionate about their heritage. I spent 2 nights in Granada in early May and started my trip at the Alhambra, an incredible place with a fortress, palaces and gardens. Owing to a mix-up with my taxi driver, either because of my bad Spanish or his non-existent English, I was dropped off at the top of the site, so started my visit at the Generalife Gardens. This turned out to be a blessing, as it was wonderfully shady and quiet first thing in the morning, and I soon found my happy place amongst the roses. Water plays a very important role in the garden. Not only is it beautiful, but it's wonderfully cooling in the long, hot Andalusian summers. And the sound of water would also protect private conversations from being overheard. It was time to find my way to the most spectacular part of the Alhambra complex, the Nasrid Palaces. Dating back to the 14th century, they were built by the Nasrid dynasty, the last ruling Muslims of Spain. The columns, the tiles, the patterns and geometry, and the astonishing hits of blue are just breathtaking. Every surface is covered in beauty. The Court of Lions is a particular highlight and is surrounded by 124 marble columns. The gardens outside the palace are a delight. And the scent of roses and pinks was intoxicating. There's also the magnificent Charles V Palace to see. Construction began in 1527 and it has a fabulous round courtyard. The Alcazabar is the oldest part of the complex and is where the Sultan would have had his home until the palace was built. After 5 hours at the Alhambra, I decided it was time to move on, so wended my way downhill, glad of my sensible trainers on the steep cobbled paths. I followed the Darro River through the streets of the Albaicin district. This was a lovely area to walk through, and I spotted a couple of pomegranates, the symbol of the city of Granada. I wasn't quite sure where I was heading, and it was pretty hot walking up all the steps and narrow streets, but the beauty of it all took my mind off the effort. And that first glimpse of the Alhambra and the snow-capped Sierra Nevada mountains made it totally worth it. I was looking for the Mirador de San Nicolas, and I knew I was getting closer when I could hear the sound of excited people and singing. This is the spot for the best views, but it does get crowded, and people think nothing of jostling you or telling you to get out of the way so they can get the perfect photo. But there is much more to Granada than the Alhambra. The Royal Chapel in the centre of town is also a delight. It's a different building from the cathedral, so you'll need a separate ticket. Photography isn't allowed inside, but the tombs of King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella are definitely worth seeing. Granada Cathedral was begun in 1523 and not finished until 1704. This place is enormous, with gigantic columns soaring high above the shining black and white floor. There are 15 chapels, and 2 gold organs. One had a team of cleaners working away. They must have very good heads for heights. There was so much to see here, from idols and paintings to huge books with delightful details. And I love the shadow cast by St. Francis here. And this lion, who looks most disgruntled at his burden. One of the joys of being in a new city is exploring its streets with no real direction in mind, and Granada is great for that. I found vibrant squares full of people enjoying themselves. There were delicious treats everywhere. Fabulous tea stalls. It's a great place to walk around, and the light, warm evenings simply invite exploration. I was in town on a Saturday, and a stage had been set up for a flamenco show. And although I was at the back of the stage, I could see the groups of girls and women preparing to dance for the crowds under the hot sun. It was in the high 20s. No wonder they incorporate fans into their routine. I had time for one last adventure before I left Granada, and found my way to the back street entrance of the San Jerónimo Monastery. And what a treat it was. It's set around a courtyard full of orange and lemon trees, and is definitely worth a couple of hours of your time, if only to take a step away from the crowded streets and take a meditative moment on a bench or pew. and just take it all in. The beauty, the stillness, right in the middle of a city. Peace is always there if you look for it. This place is really special, with its barrel vaulted ceiling, and painted columns. I discovered this bust of a smiling nun in the cloisters, and her expression pretty much sums up my visit to this wonderful city. So is 48 hours enough for a visit to Granada? As I caught my train back to Seville, I couldn't help wishing that I'd given myself another day there. But maybe I'll return sometime. Isn't that the joy of travelling? Discovering your new favourite places that you can return to time and time again.